Session today, man. I can't even lie. It was just a lot of back and forth today, but we did make some money. We lost out on 600. I'll get to that a little bit later, but we did make some money today. Uh, NFP on a Tuesday, and it's crazy. But I'll walk you guys through why I took what I took and how we made money off longs and how I did find a way to, even on a winning day, I found a way to miss out on $600, which would have got me a little bit closer to a payout. But coming into the day, you see that it's been a little bit weird. I don't know if it's the holiday price action. I don't know what it is that could be going on, but it's not my job. My job is to make money. These highs right here have been the draw for me since we were up here. We just been tapping and tapping and tapping. It does make sense because we do have an SMT with ES up here, which kind of started this whole little reversal. So if I pull up the daily on ES, you'll see what I'm talking about. We had these equal highs up here, and those were popped, and that kind of started this little reversal into these gaps, right? So coming into the day, I automatically see we have swept lows. We did tap this inefficiency here with this low, and my eye automatically went to this volume imbalance and this wick, which we failed to get to the midpoint, which is good because that means we could possibly be testing the upside again. This volume imbalance was a key for me today, and I'll show you why. I also wanted to see this 4-hour gap inverted at some point in the morning. So coming into the session, I see that we're pretty much strong off of this low from London, which I was keeping an eye on it because you never know at the end of the day. But my focus was upside because when I came into the day, this was the candle, sorry, that we were forming, and I was highlighting how we kind of inversed this move here, and I wanted to see these highs taken and potentially come back into this inefficiency before either showing weakness or blasting right through it. But it wasn't a lot to ask for though, because on NFP we usually get way more movement than we got today, right? So we see this NFP wick here, which was my draws, 84-point wick for NFP. You don't see anything that light ever, really. But I liked how at the open the first thing we did was sweep sell side into this daily volume imbalance and immediately, and I mean immediately, just displace higher, right? And I told you guys how you guys should know how news wicks are pretty much my target most of the time on days like this. But not only did we sweep down into the daily volume imbalance that I showed you guys on the daily chart, but we did tap into this order block right here, which kind of almost lines up perfectly with the I'm gonna put it blue so you can see it, with the midpoint of the daily volume imbalance, right? So we come in, we sweep the low, we test the daily volume imbalance. We fail to touch this order block on this move, but we do tap it a little bit later, which I'll get into. But we inverse this entire move, and at that point right away my eye goes to this inefficiency. And one thing I've always emphasized is that I don't really care if price reaches the wick or my draw or whatever the case may be. I just want to know where is price most likely to go next, and how can I get a 1 to 2 in that direction and kind of make my money and get out. If it continues, cool. If it doesn't, good for me too. Because what I have noticed a lot of times is that with moves in something as volatile as Nasdaq, a lot of times it does this where it kind of gets you a little bit towards your move, and then it kind of comes back on you, and then finally does it. So you see how we sweep, rally, inverse, resweep, then rally, and then take that wick. That would have been a bad loss because you're up at the height of this move. You're up what, 86 points, and you let it turn around on you. I saw through a lot of back testing that 1 to 2 in the direction that price is most likely to go is what works for me. So we were in and out here. I wanted to see, before moving my stop to break even, I wanted to see how price will react to the to the midpoint of this opening range gap, right? So high to the opening price, opening range gap. After we create this gap here, I wanted to see us continue to blast through this aggressively. I didn't go break even here yet, because for me to do that, I would have needed to see a close above this to treat it as an order block, right? So once I saw this candle form, obviously, once we were trading above this, I was already dragging my stop loss to kind of eliminate risk, because at that point, if we are all the way up here and we turn back around, we have equal lows here. I didn't want to see that kind of engaged. So I lost 600 because I risked, I believe, 150 on this, if I'm not mistaken. 1 to 2, made 300 on my Apex accounts, but I forgot to turn on the copier for my Fund the Futures account, which I trailed 2 times with 2 times as much risk as I do here. So that would have been an easy 600 on the funded, but it is what it is. I did have the thought of like turning off the copier, going on MFF and trading it on its own, but I was like, you know what, we made our money. It's all right. It is what it is. If one account was off. And then this was a pretty clean delivery back into the daily volume imbalance, sweep the low, tap the hourly order block that I highlighted, and then come back up before eventually taking that data high. This would have been a cool setup if you did have the opportunity to enter at least a 1-to-1, but that's a pretty big stop, which I'm not too fond of those. So yeah, that's how I made some money today. I'll show you guys the execution so you're not on my bumper about that shit. So this is basically my journal, and how I'm journaling now is on a PowerPoint. So you see how I entered right off the gap, exited up here, and let the rest pretty much take care of itself, man. I'll see y'all for the next one.